Okay, I think I can do this now. Been struggling to get the settings right for OBS. Let's see how this runs. Probably won't be perfect. This is Gender Identity. Why All the Confusion by right-wing propaganda channel Prager University. I've seen this before. I think a lot of people have. So let's dive in and see how stupid this is.
It's now okay for a man to hit a woman.
She said it, not me.
That, in effect, is what a mixed martial arts league decided when it allowed Fallon Fox, a biological male, to fight as a woman simply because he identifies as one.
Okay, misgendering aside, there's a lot to unpack there. She or rather the video, she does not, you're not going to define what a biological male is, are you? What is it about biology that differentiates a male from a female? Because in general you can do that, but there isn't a law. There isn't a natural law to it. The differences are largely arbitrary.
And the consequence of this decision? Fox sent female fighter Tamika Brents to the hospital with a broken skull and a concussion. Brents needed 7 surgical staples to bind her wounds.
Those are pretty nasty injuries. You have to admit it.
The battered woman, a trained fighter herself, said of her match with Fox, "I've never felt so overpowered in my life." 20 years ago, if a man hit a woman so hard that he sent her to the hospital, he'd be in prison. Now, he can get paid for it.
Yeah, because cis women have never injured cis women in sports before. Ronda Rousey got knocked out after a single kick. And besides, in sports, there are forms that you have to sign out or sign where if your opponent accidentally kills you, they're called release forms. You sign a document, and if your opponent accidentally kills you, they're not at fault. Yeah, so the world of sports is a funny thing. So if you want to, obviously violence against women is horrible, but if it's in a competitive environment like MMA or boxing, for whatever reason, a woman and a man compete in that environment, whoever gets injured wouldn't be able to press charges against the winner. And I'd bet that if it was a man that got defeated by a woman, the makers of this video would be because of toxic masculinity, they'd be go away, ad. They'd be you're not a real man for losing to that woman. So yeah, fuck that nonsense.
Today we are told that male and female are one and the same.
Well, exactly what do you mean by that?
This denial of male-female differences has led to the astonishing belief that men and women are not born male or female. They are whatever gender they say they are.
Well, that's what Well, that's what's agreed upon in the psychiatric community and the psychological community. Like, gender is a social construct. Like, don't.
Facebook went so far as to offer its users over 50 genders to choose from. Know what a demi-boy is? Me neither.
I didn't know what a demi-boy was beforehand, but okay, I am a fan of. I've looked into Greek mythology, and I know what a demigod is, which are the descendants of gods and mortals. The demi and demigod would denote some divinity, some godlyhood. So by that same example with a demi-boy, I imagine it denotes some but not complete manhood. So yeah, that wasn't too hard.
The idea that gender identification is now a personal choice might sound enlightened to some, but it's actually a very anti-scientific view of one of the essential facts of life.
It's always kind of stupid ads. It's always rather kind of sad watching a conservative try to make an argument using science. It's kind of like watching a monkey try to start a car. I mean, they have the keys, but all they do is scream incoherently.
Men and women are inherently different. Their brains
Sure, who says they're not?
are different.
Well, yeah, the brains are different. I'm not a trans medicalist, but yeah, there have been studies to show that the brain of a trans woman does closer resemble that of a cis woman, even before going on hormones. The same with trans men. The brains of trans men closer resemble that of cis men before going on hormones as well.
Their hormones are different.
In generally, yes. That's why we try to encourage. That's why we try to give trans people hormones. Unfortunately, not every trans person has medical insurance and can't get the hormones that they want. The ones that would probably medically require hormones.
Your chromosomes are different.
Generally that is true, but you do have cis men who do have like XX chromosomes and cis women who have XY chromosomes. So now, admittedly, the percentage of these people are small, but since most people don't know what the chromosomes are, the number is probably much higher than we think it is. And also, gender is not binary. If you're making a chromosomes argument, you need to acknowledge non-binary gender, but I don't think you're going to do that. Or if you do, I think you're probably going to shoot it down.
And of course, their bodies are different.
Whatever. Let's just keep watching. That doesn't their bodies are a different thing. That's not even a separate point. It's not even an additional point to what you were making. That is the point of what you were making. That's just their brains are different, their chromosomes are different, their hormones are different, and to add their bodies are different at the end is just a redundancy.
No amount of peer-reviewed papers from gender studies departments can change this.
That's funny that you said that, because you also have psychiatrists saying this. You have psychologists saying this. It's not just gender studies department saying this.
But that won't stop the progressive elites who run our universities, news media, many of our biggest companies, and even our high schools and elementary schools from trying.
Oh, yeah, because it's all a conspiracy theory. Do not conform to society. Everything you ever knew was a lie. 1984. George Orwell wasn't a democratic socialist. George Orwell was a democratic socialist. By the way, he was also an anti-Semite, which is so disappointing.
For their efforts, women will pay an especially high price. That's because the men and women are the same argument invariably leads women to be judged against a male standard. Or to
what did the 1940s never happened, where men were out fighting and dying pointlessly, and women had to take up the jobs that were typically done by men. Like what would the people of PragerU be saying if women had to take up the jobs? Would they be like, no, you can't do that, that's a man's job? And like, what do you do then? All the men are dying of war.
put it another way, to be more of a woman has to be more like a man.
Who the hell's saying that?
She has to
Like, you're saying that.
want to have casual sex like a man,
What's wrong with that?
to serve in combat like a man,
Well, even in the 1940s, there were women fighting in battle.
to pursue a career with single-minded intensity like a man.
Well, why can't they do that?
Of course there are exceptions, but the
Okay, then your point is moot.
overwhelming majority of women aren't seeking casual sex, don't have the physical strength of men, and don't
And there are also men that don't have the physical strength of men. Like, what? Men and, like that. Not every man is like 6'3", super muscular and super heavy. There are also men that are like 5'2" and weigh 50 kilograms and will probably make less sense to be fighting in the military than like the average woman. What a dumbass point.
don't share the same work-life priorities as men.
Are you making some kind of biological argument? Or, okay, you probably are, because you did try to bring biology into this a moment ago, but is this... Okay, how much of this is biology and how much of this is social? Because, like again, in the 1940s, women had to do the same jobs as men, or rather the jobs that men would be doing if men went fighting and dying in stupid war.
Ironically, this quest for sameness is occurring at a time when science is telling us more emphatically than ever that we are different. So what your grandma...
Science is actually saying the exact opposite. Like, science has never been it's never been the right's ally. It never has. You have Galileo saying the Earth revolves around the sun, and you have like, okay, the Catholic Church in that time would have been the religious, that era's version of the religious right. Galileo was saying the Earth revolves around the sun, and you have the Catholic Church putting him on house arrest. So why are you doing this, science? Why aren't you helping? Why are you siding with the left liars?
Mother took for granted, men and women are different, science now confirms.
I mean, sure, yeah, but science doesn't. Science doesn't decide what makes a man, what makes a woman. People decide on what makes a man, what makes a woman. Like, we have the standards for what makes a man and woman today are different from what made a man and a woman just 100 years ago.
But there is no room for science in, say, stores like Target or Toys R Us, where toys are no longer divided into the boys section and the girls section.
What the hell's wrong with that? I mean, what? Why should a boy that wants a doll to have to? I think if you want, if the boy and girl sections did exist, a boy shouldn't be ashamed of wanting to go into the girl section. A girl shouldn't be ashamed of wanting to go into the boys section. But what the hell's wrong with the boys section and the girls section no longer being separated? And also Toys R Us no longer exists because of capitalism, and not because Toys R Us couldn't keep up with our modern world. It's actually because of a parasitic. Is Toys R Us was profitable. It got bankrupt because of it was being used to just make money for its owners. The money wasn't going back into the company.
Or in a North Carolina school district where students can no longer be called boys and girls, but only students.
Well, what's wrong with that? In general, isn't that more accurate? I guess because, they are in a school environment, maybe it'd be more helpful to, if you're referring to a lot of them all at once, especially all at once, students would be more shorthand, more efficient, I guess.
Or in college dorms where co-ed bathrooms and even co-ed bedrooms are increasingly common.
That seemed very... What are you implying? Are you implying man and woman can't be in the same space? Are you worried that you're worried what will happen to the woman if they have to be in the same space as men? Are you saying that men are going to uncontrollably harm women in those situations? That's very sexist of you. Yeah, so anybody who's watching this, it's not... Anti-male sexism is not coming from the left, it's coming from the right. It is the right that's saying that men have to die stupidly in wars. It is the right that's saying, they're saying a guy that wants to have long hair is not a real man. It is the right that wants... It is the right that decided long ago that women should get everything in a divorce. Not the left, not feminists, not SJWs, the right. If you are a man, it is the right that hates you and wants you dead. Not SJWs, not the left, and not feminists.
For the tiny percentage of people who experience gender dysphoria, we should have nothing but compassion.
Then don't misgender them like you did in the start of the video. Fallon Fox has gender dysphoria. She took medical steps to transition from male to female. I mean, referring to her as a he is like, that's not helping her in the slightest.
We should do everything we can to help them and protect their dignity.
Like, I just was getting ahead of myself. Anyway, the point is, you're not helping her. You're stripping her of her dignity. Fuck you.
But we don't need to overturn biologically defined sex differences to do so.
The so-called biologically defined sex differences are arbitrary. Fuck you.
But that's what's happening.
No, it's not.
Using the wrong pronoun at the office might get you fired.
Okay. Let's just keep watching, because I think I know what they're building towards.
In Canada, it might land you in court. In mixed martial arts.
Oh, I know. There it is, Bill C-16 in Canada, where if you intentionally and continuously misgender someone, it's seen as harassment, which is you really think that's a bad thing? I mean, like, no one has gone to prison over Bill C-16. It just hasn't happened, so get over yourself. Where were we? Mixed martial arts.
As we have seen, it can lead to getting your head bashed in.
Yeah, because cis women have never injured other cis women in competitive sports. It's never happened before. Women's sports is just like Braun Penny's matches in WWE. I mean, God damn it, what are they gonna? Oh God, let's just keep watching. This is already super painful.
Apparently, this is a small price to pay in a world where we must all genuflect to political correctness.
This is so. It's always so. Fuck you. I don't even know what to say to something so stupid. Like, it's not science. Like, it's not science. It's not psychiatry. It's the politically correct. It's political correctness that's doing. That's responsible for the things that I don't like.
Even after being hospitalized, Tamika Brents knew she had to toe the PC line. When asked how she explained why she lost so badly to a man who said he was a woman, she said,
No, Fallon Fox is a woman. She had taken medical steps like years earlier to transition from male to female. She is on testosterone blockers, or I think she is on blockers. She's either on. Okay, I'm pretty sure she's had bottom surgery. Even if she isn't, she's not on. Her body doesn't have a lot of testosterone in it at this point. She's on estrogen. It'd be like, at some point it's a fair fight. Trans women do not have an advantage over cis women in sports.
I can't answer whether it's because she was born a man or not, because I'm not a doctor.
Like, you think that was her towing the PC line? Maybe it was. Maybe it's her, or maybe it's her honest opinion. I mean, if somebody asks me, like, hey, should I get this little lump checked out? I say, well, I'm not a doctor. Like, I mean, I think her response was was reasonable. I think it was realistic. I mean, she's not a doctor.
Vice magazine, writing about the incident, had no sympathy for Brents. Why should they? As they wrote,
Okay, let's see what this is.
biological sex isn't black and white.
Oh, that's true. It's not. I mean, yeah. Men have testosterone. Women have estrogen. Men also have estrogen. Women also have testosterone. Like, you have some men born with functioning fallopian tubes and a vagina. You have cis women with penises. You have you do have XY and XX, but you also have like XXX XX no XYY XXY. You have biological sex is not black and white. Vice magazine is correct.
But in virtually every instance, it is.
No, it's not. Screw you. Even if you say, like, virtually it shows that no, it's not in black and white. It's like, okay. Let's take a like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, as soon as Aang comes out of the ice, like, okay, I've only seen season 1, so I'm not up to date on everything. But okay, you have Fire Nation, you have Water Nation, you have what else? What else is there? Okay, Fire Nation, Water Nation, Earth and Wind, or Air, maybe I should say. Okay. By the time Aang comes out of the ice, like, the air, the waters of air are basically exterminated, as far as I know. Because there's only one airbender in existence at that point. You only have earth, fire, and water. There are three elements: fire, water, and earth. And you have, like, Aang just standing in the corners, like, actually, I'm an airbender, but virtually, there's only fire, earth, and water. You don't count. That's basically what PragerU's is saying here. Yeah. Aang is a waterbender. And gender and sex are not binary. They are bimodal.
The longer we allow the obvious to go unstated and undefended, the worse it will be. For boys and
that might have been premature.
girls, and for men and women, but especially for women.
Because women can't be in the kitchen where they're supposed to be. It isn't a doctor or a psychiatrist that's doing this video. It's an author, somebody that wrote some dumbass book.
The sexes are different. Rather than trying to quash this reality, which can only lead to more needless confusion and suffering, not less, we should step back and marvel at it and enjoy it.
No one's trying to squash it, and I think, and like the only people that aren't marveling at it are fascists, which, like, I'm pretty comfortable with saying that. That's the demographic that PragerU appeals to.
Male-female differences are among the most wonderful things in life. I'm Ashley McGuire for Prager University. Thank you.
Oh, goddammit, that was so stupid. I have to dislike. Oh god, do I want to look at the comments? Do I want to look at the comments? I don't want to. No, I'm not gonna look at the comments. That was too hard. I think I'll look at. Okay, this is something. Okay, I was gonna bring this up for the video because you have like they were going. They didn't dwell on it too much, but they did bring up the like Fallon Fox injuring Tamika Brents, which is not good on right. I hope Tamika Brents is fine now. But okay, the idea is that women are going to suffer under this political correct like super dumb shit that like trans women in sports is just like men fighting women, which is incredibly stupid. Well, here's Renee Richards, so I'm just gonna read from the like she is a trans woman that wanted to that was also a tennis player, but they didn't want her to compete in the women's leagues. She I think she went to a court or something, and she was allowed to compete in a women's court in the women's league. So yeah, let's just read how it all ended right here. She competed in the 1977 US Open at the age of 43, lost in the first round, and retired 4 years later. At the time, the ruling in Richard's case did not lead to major changes outside of tennis. Well, so yeah, this man, I'm only speaking hyperbolic. This man did not beat older women. So, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that. It hurt. It just hurt for me to say that. Anyway, the point is, Prager University is stupid. It's run by idiots and it appeals to idiots. Maybe I'll do more of these kinds of videos in the future, but for now, I've had enough.